this video, I'd like to chat about the art of the possible today. In prior videos, I've covered how we can send a document off to the DocuSign large language model and have extractions take place. After those extractions, however, what can we do with that data? Well, let's review it. The review process takes the extracted values from the large language model and incorporates the ability to check them, if you will, against company clauses. Now we also see on this page the ability to look at the document history, so we can see how it's traveled and all the filtering and sorting. More enhancements to come here in the future as well. And also importantly, we can see the attributes. So we can see the metadata that is available here on this particular agreement. So this is agreement or document specific right now. There will be another video about all the documents or agreements in the repository. Okay, well those are really not what this video is about, so we'll close them up, but it's available if you wish to look at them. And the layout is going to change, and this is really still proof of concept here, but let's look at the extracted clauses. Okay, we've got a pre-canned sort here, so we know we have two assignable clauses. Let's go back and just focus on our run IDs, and we can see the different dates and times for those. Now let's pop open our company clauses, and now we see that inside the CLM we have two assignable options and the verbiage, as well as notes. You can see there's obviously just testing here, but you could have notes. Now all of this is coming out for us. We've been able to pull essentially the clause library within the CLM into this page, and we can check and look at the clause that's been found in the agreement and attempt to do an analysis. So right here in a single screen, a one-stop shop, you're able to take and look at the clauses that have been approved. Maybe they're fallback clauses, maybe they're just standard clauses that the company wishes to use. Now we also have large language models or chat GPTs or Bing bots that we could do something with this data. So let's select each of these. Let's do a copy at this time, and again this is subject to change. It's not necessarily going to be this way, but we have the data. We now have the data. It's exposed. So you'll see a future video of another way to approach this, but let's say for this example, for this video, you wanted to use a local large language model. And if we were in the Opera browser, that could be potentially available to us. This is Chrome right now that we're in, and I'm going to hesitate to guess that in the future there will be AI baked into the browser, so you won't need to go to anywhere. You'll just be able to stay right in this browser and feed whatever content you want into that chat and ask it questions. But for now, let's kind of do a little old school, which is current school, and we've got to copy this. So I'll copy this guy. We copied one row. I'm going to switch over now to ChatGPT, and I'm gonna paste that in. All right, just the raw text. It's the raw text that's going. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to head back, and I'm going to grab this guy, and I'm going to paste that in. we're going to test this and see. Please compare these clauses. So here we go. So we've sent this off to ChatGPT to start to analyze it. And here it is. So this is providing us, obviously, through the main ChatGPT. If your company has an agreement, if you have it as private data, all of that would then not be impacted negatively, which is a good thing. But you can see right now, out of the gate, because we have the data, we can have our assessment. And depending on how well we phrase our prompt, we can get different results back. But this is really very simple at most to be able to put both clauses in, or multitudes of clauses, depends on how many characters it'll accept. And you could do this with Anthropic, which is the Claude LLM. You can do it with the other LLM providers out there to then get results and start to compare and contrast. So this is ChatGPT. If we were using the Edge browser, we'd have the Bing bot or Copilot. We could do the same thing. Copy the clauses, paste them in, ask some questions. So this doesn't mean the human is gone. This doesn't mean it replaces the human, but it augments the human. It helps the human. This is opening the door to being able to mine the data in a way that affords people to use large language models to assist them. So here's another thought on this. Let's sort this one. So we see we've got two assignable clauses here, but we're not really sure if there's any difference in the text. I mean, of course, we could quickly scan it and we could see that. But again, let's go back to the chat bot here. Let's paste them. Please compare these clauses. Okay, so both are identical. So that's great. That was something that if there were red lines, let's say this was the first time it was sent out to the client or the customer or whomever, the vendor, etc., and they sent it back and it was processed with AI to do the extraction. Okay, well that's where it came in, and then the following time it came back in, it was processed again. Well, there's a simple compare. Now, do you need to use a large language model to do that? No, you don't have to. It's strings, so you could compare them that way. But what's neat here is, again, assistive technology. It assists without the need to write additional code to have that compare done. So yeah, you can see the color codes, which are all customizable by the settings, and that's in the prior video. But just some things to start to think about as this takes more shape, and what the power is once you expose the data. It really is the data that drives here. Thanks.